Hello, everyone. I'm getting ready to do my janitorial duties, my fantastic and exciting Saturday night scrubbing toilets after I worked. Um, but I had a conversation. I've always talk about the new things that are coming out with my clients. I think a good half of the reason they come to see me is because I spend so much time scouring the internet for gadget news that they come to me to get caught up on what's new, which is great for me because that keeps them coming back. So happy day, and I like to talk so that uh, I like to talk so that attracts clients also that like to talk. So that's a win-win for me in every way, I think. Uh, but we were talking about the Google self-driving car, and I posted some my faster and faster thing on Facebook, but I hadn't really talked about it on video, and of course I think it's fantastic. It is going to be the way of the future, and it's just going to be the better way to travel. I know there's people out there going, I just love to drive. They can't take that away from me. I'm a better driver. I got my reactions, and I want to have control. I can't lose control. It's like, well, you're going to have to let me know when you're over it because your time is limited. Uh, Computers will do it better. They'll be able to be safer, stronger, better than before. I don't know why I had that going. Weirdness. And I can see in the very near future that it will probably be mandated that all cars are self-driving. Even if you want to drive it yourself, I'm pretty sure that it will become obvious that computers can do it better. So if they detect that you are doing something wrong, they're just going to stop you from doing whatever it is that's wrong or dangerous. That's just going to happen. If you don't like it, you're going to need to figure out a way to deal with it. For me, it's going to probably be alcohol and cannabis. But the conversation that he's a pessimist. The reason I brought up the not liking it and thinking it's not going to work, and he's quick to ask, so when there's an accident, who are you going to sue? Or who's the liability there if no one's driving? And all valid, all valid. Uh, but this evening we were talking about DUIs, and before it was kind of if you're intoxicated, you could probably still get busted because there's a steering wheel and you can take control and you can override the system. So if you were really drunk and a cop pulls you over and you were swerving, you can't go, well, it's a self-driving car. Uh, you'd still get busted, I'm quite sure. But in this new one, which I really like, and I'm not against it only going 25 miles an hour. If a little tiny bubble car only does 25 miles an hour, but you don't have to pay attention, you can do other things while you're doing it, and the slower you drive, the safer statistically you're going to be. If you're doing 45, most of our roads around here are 45 miles an hour. If you're doing 45 miles an hour and hit a pedestrian or a bicyclist, it's really bad. If you're doing 25 miles an hour, not so bad. So it's still bad, yes, still bad, but less. And we just don't need to be in that much of a hurry. And maybe that's just me getting older and uh, willing to leave a little earlier and do some planning. But I don't mind driving slower to get to where I'm going. If I'm going a long distance, maybe freeways are going to have different rules, but I think the majority of cars should be fine traveling at 25 miles an hour. It's not going to be the way it is, I know, but I'm okay with it. Taken a while to get to this point. But this car does not have a steering wheel or a gas pedal. There are no internal controls for the driver to take over. So I think this is pretty much the definitive answer if you wish to be intoxicated while traveling or go bar hopping, or for a car that is designed for bar hoppers, that you could never be busted for DUI, driving under the influence, if there are no controls which with to drive the vehicle. You can't, there's no way to operate the motor vehicle. You give it instructions and it takes you there. So it's operating itself. You are the passenger, much like a passenger in a cab where you tell the cabbie where to go, you tell the car where to go, and it goes regardless of how intoxicated or inebriated or disabled, or regardless of your mental condition, you will get there as safely as that vehicle can get you there, automated. So this is the definitive answer. You won't be able to be charged with driving under the influence if you can't possibly drive the car or operate the motor vehicle, if the controls aren't even there. So I thought that was an interesting change. I kind of knew, just by sci-fi books and watching where the technology is going, I think everybody could have figured out that soon cars wouldn't even have controls, because not really necessary for 99% of your driving. I can still see car aficionados wanting their 68 Mustang notchback with all the controls and do that. Sure, that's fantastic. Have at it. Suck your fumes. Uh, I'm really not against it. But this does show that technological design is going to have a drastic input in culture and laws. So that's the phone. Peace. Have a good weekend.